This next episode of We Sound Crazy is brought to you in part by Nashville Music City.
We sound crazy.
What's up, y'all? It's me, Bacon from Macon for We Sound Crazy. Back with part 2 of my convos with hip-hop legends during my visit to Washington, D.C. for the RIAA Honors, where I got a chance to speak with them about the culture and what it means to them. Speaking of culture, next up is a guy that's been part of our party experiences for years now. His smash, Let Me Clear My Throat, is a party anthem, and he's played a major part in putting D.C. on the map for hip-hop. Check out my interview with the legendary DJ Kool right here on We Sound Crazy. Welcome back to We Sound Crazy. In with another legend, Mr. DJ Kool. How's it going, sir?
Thank you, sir. I'm blessed.
It's such an honor to meet you. I mean, today has just been a whirlwind, just meeting everybody that's just contributed to this culture that we call hip-hop. We're here at the RIAA offices, and I've been asking everybody all day today, like, you've seen hip-hop. We're coming up on 50 years next year. Mm-hmm. What's going through your mind as we are at this event, and you've seen hip-hop when it was in its infancy, and you're still here to tell the story today? Like, what's going through your head as you see all of this happening?
Well, first of all, it's just like you said, still here to see it. You know what I mean? So thank God for that part. But it's about time certain individuals in this industry got their flowers. And Grandmaster Flash is one of those people. You know what I mean? Him and MC Lyte. If it wasn't for Grandmaster Flash, you wouldn't have a DJ Kool. You wouldn't have a DJ Jazzy Jeff, and on and on and on. You know what I mean? So it's beautiful, man. Yeah. Honestly, it really is beautiful.
We sound crazy.
Let me clear my throat. Oh! Have mercy, baby. Ha! I hope you don't mind. Let me clear my throat.
Yeah, last year was the 25th anniversary of Let Me Clear My Throat. I mean, I mean, but still to this day, that record, a party is not a party if you don't hear that record at some point in the evening. I mean, it's even, I'm 35, I was born in 86, and every party that I go to, I'm like, you can't call yourself a DJ if you don't spin that record at least once. What do you think the key to the staying power of that record is? Like, why does it continue to just put smiles on people's faces to this day?
That song is rooted in the idea of where hip-hop actually came from. It came from the party. Yeah. As we used to say, 2 turntables and a microphone. The DJ and the MC, you know what I mean? Is throw your hands in the air, waving like you just don't care. Somebody say, "Ho." Now scream. That's all that is. It is the total embodiment of that thought.
Wow. You're from right here,
born and
in
raised,
DC.
Southeast, yes indeed.
How did DC contribute to musically who you are and who you eventually became as DJ Kool? Like, what does DC have to do with
that? So me being from DC, you know, we have a style of music here which is called go-go. God bless our godfather, Chuck Brown. And so I grew up in that culture. But at the same time, me being a DJ and me being around as long as I've been around, just like I told you earlier before we got on camera, I started in 77. So I'm from the era of Grandmaster Flash and all the cats that came out during that time, but the only difference is I'm from DC. So I'm hip-hop and go-go, you know what I mean? And I hope I don't sound braggadocious or anything like that, because I'm really not trying to do that.
Not at all.
When I say I'm the first hip-hop artist to come out here to chart, to go regional, and then go national. I had a song in 1986 called The Music Ain't Loud Enough. And that record mixed hip-hop and go-go. I took beats from go-go records. Matter of fact, the main beat on that record is from a song by EU, which y'all know them for doing it, but they had a song in '86 called Doing the Cabbage Patch. I took the beat from that record, put a bunch of other samples on top of it, and arranged it like a hip-hop record, and Music Ain't Loud Enough came out. And then I had a single on the Billboard charts. And we was doing this independently. I've only been signed to 2 little local independent labels. And that's another movie for another time.
Yeah.
But I had a single on the charts every year consecutively from '86 all the way up to '96. Wow. And then the bomb dropped with that Clear My Throat thing, and there's God's blessings, and
forever
there you
etched
go.
Into the fabric of not just hip-hop culture, but like that is an American staple.
We had a pop record.
Yeah.
Thank God. So thank y'all for that. The DJs,
Crazy. I'm interested in knowing, what is your first memory of music? Is there an album or artist or a song? Just what is that first moment where you knew the light bulb just went off?
Well, let's talk about hip-hop and go-go. Let's narrow it down to that.
Okay.
On the hip-hop side, when I first heard King Tim III, Personality Jock by Fatback Band, before Sugar Hill Gang's Rapper's Delight, right? So by the time I heard Rapper's Delight, Sugar Hill Gang, then I heard Curtis Blow, then I heard Flash and them, right? So I heard Flash as a DJ, and I heard Melly Mel as an MC, right? Those are my influences as far as being a DJ and being an MC is concerned. As a matter of fact, there's one more DJ influence who I actually got a chance to physically see from here. His name was Maniac McLeod.
Okay.
This was in the mid-'70s. At that time, and he was a very prominent club jock at the time. It was him, at that time, it was him and then everybody else. And so, for me, Maniac McLeod, for me, is like, I don't know, Michael Jordan is to Kobe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I studied him. I never got an opportunity to sit down with him, and he was like, all right, cool, do this and do that. I was just always the fly on the wall. So that's how the hip-hop thing started. The go-go side of me, Chuck Brown.
Yeah.
When I first seen him, I'm like, oh my God, that's crazy. Bustin' Loose, when that first came out.
Give me the bridge now. I feel like bustin' loose, bustin' loose.
Wow.
And the rest is history. So I've always been split right down the middle. A lot of people that know anything about my career, whatever, they call me the bridge. Because I've always been the bridge between hip-hop and go-go from here.
Gotcha. Wow. Well, DJ Kool, I appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations on everything. So glad that you've been able to, you're forever etched into the fabric of just American culture, as I said.
Thank you, man. Thank you so much.
So thank you for your contribution. And we sound crazy. DJ Kool, Tamone Bacon for Macon. That's a wrap.
Peace sign.
DJ Kool, one of the founding fathers of DC hip-hop, and the reason why we have the classic Let Me Clear My Throat. I know y'all have to hear that at every party you go to. It's a staple. But we're going to keep it right on rolling. We had to tackle these interviews from an executive perspective, and it was such an amazing experience to speak with an executive who's been instrumental in developing the careers of many of our favorites over the years. We got a chance to talk about his trajectory as an attorney and his love for music. I'm talking about General Counsel and Executive Vice President of Business and Legal Affairs for Universal Music Group, Mr. Jeff Harleston. Check us out. Welcome back to We Sound Crazy. I'm Tamone Bacon for Macon, and y'all, once again, we just have the legends rolling in. But from a different angle, this conversation. This man has been a part of so many careers. And has been behind the scenes making things happen for nearly 30 years.
Thanks for reminding me.
I'm talking about none other than Mr. Jeff Harleston. How are you, sir?
Good, thanks. How are you?
I'm good. You know, it's it's amazing to be here to meet you all. You know, just as someone who has paid attention to music, loved it the way that I've loved it for so long, and just read about people like yourself. It's such an honor to meet you, really.
Well, thank you. That's very nice of you to say. Yeah. Wait to see how you feel after the end of this conversation, but we'll give it a ride. So
you're being honored tonight as a pioneer of hip hop, and you know we're here at the RIAA offices here in DC. What's going through the mind of Jeff Harleston at this moment, just knowing that you've put in all the work you've put in, and you're now you've been given your flowers tonight?
Well, thank you. A lot's going through my mind. You know, my career started in D.C., wow, but it wasn't in music. And I'm a lawyer, and I was out of law school, started working at a law firm, trying cases in the courtroom, had a little success. And then I was asked to join a prosecutor's office, special prosecutor that was prosecuting the Iran-Contra investigation. Now I'm dating myself, but still. And I worked on that investigation for 2 years until it ended. And then I was trying to figure out what I was going to do next. And a classmate of mine from law school called me up and said, "I know this is a little out there, but you know I'm working at this record company in L.A., MCA Records, and we're looking to hire a lawyer, and I thought of you, and I think you'd be great." And I'm like, "Come on." Wow. I'm like, I'm a prosecutor. I'm going to be a judge, maybe a senator. I'm in D.C. That's a whole different thing. L.A., come on. But I took the invite and went out for an interview and met them. They offered me the job, and I said, you know what? I'll go out there for a couple of years. It might be fun. And that was almost 30 years ago.
Wow. Wow. So I know you didn't set out to be in music, but do you have like a music memory? Is there like an album or an artist that was your go-to as a kid or as
you serious? Are we gonna be serious?
Yeah. Let's be serious.
Yeah. Absolutely, 100%. Okay. In fact, when I started the company, my office was on a hall, and the hall had, you know, there were offices on one side, and then the other side was just a wall, and that wall had all these gold records. They were just, they're not fancy like they are now with pictures and all that. They were just a frame with a gold disc, and they were all of them, right? And one of them, I saw, you know, I look at the different records when I started, and I was like, oh my God, Rolls Royce Car Wash. That was my jam.
Working at the car wash. Working at the car wash, yeah. Come on and sing it with me, car wash. Sing it with the feeling now, car wash, yeah.
That was, for me, you know, okay, I'm dating myself. That was my jam, okay? That clap.
Yeah.
You know, all that, right? So we moved out of those offices in '99. And on my way out, I grabbed that record. It's in my office to this day. I have it right on the wall because that record meant so much to me as you know, growing up and as a kid. But yeah, music was, it's very interesting. I have an older brother who actually had a career in the music business, which is probably one of the reasons why I didn't want to get in it, because I always was trying to do things different and not be compared to my older brother. So he, you know, he was at Sony Music, and then he was in CBS Records. And subsequently, when they did the joint venture with Russell to start Def Jam, he went over at Def Jam and worked there for me. So I had exposure to the industry. I would sometimes go in the office at Def Jam and just check it out and see what's going on and feel the vibe and all those folks that were there. And I mean, you know, my memories early on were like, you know, legends like Kevin Liles and Julie Greenwald and Leo Cohen. Like, I mean, they're doing their thing. Like, you know, as you know, watching Kevin and Julie in particular. I mean, you could see it early on, but their rise was well deserved, and you could see that. So I had a sense of it, but it wasn't for me. I was a different guy. I was going to do my thing in DC. So it was interesting when this opportunity came up, but. You know what, I tell people, I didn't find music. Music found me. And it was one of those things that once I, you know, and I'll be honest, that first year in the business was really hard. It was really hard. I had partly cloudy days, partly sunny days, because it's not like anything you've ever done before. Like you can't just buy a book. There are books, you can buy them, and you can read them, but it's like buying a book on football and then going out and trying to play in the NFL. It's you gotta actually take your reps. You gotta be in the game to figure it out. And so it took me a minute to kind of get my rhythm, but it was as I figured it out and the, became more sunny days and lights kind of came on. It was incredible. But I had along the way I had real mentorship that has stuck with me and is something that's very important to me in terms of a give back. And people like Ernie Singleton, who I'm friends with to this day, Lou Silas, who sadly is no longer with us, but was incredible, and Andre Harrell. I mean, those three people in particular. Andre, sadly, is not with us today either. But in terms of introducing and teaching me and things like that, and really guiding guideposts along the way, it's really, really important.
Is there something from one of those three amazing guys that sticks out to you that you still carry with you to this day? Like, is there a conversation that you all had, or just something that has pulled you through?
Yeah, there's a few. I mean, and I said this to Ernie recently. I saw him about a month ago in Detroit. We're at a Motown event. And I said to him, something you said has stuck with me my entire career and is something I have passed down many times because it is some of the best advice I've ever gotten. And he said to me one day, he said, in this business, you have to make sure that your level of accountability does not exceed your level of authority. I didn't understand what it meant when he said it. Level of accountability exceeding the level of authority. What is Ernie talking about? But as my career progressed, I find myself going like, wait a second. I'm gonna get in trouble for this when I didn't even do it. I didn't even have the authority to do that. And as I thought back and continued to process what he said, it's been really one of my divining principles. I think it's really important because this is a crazy business, and you just got to make sure. I'm fine taking accountability. I'm fine being accountable. Just give me the authority. That's my thing. Give me the gun and the badge. I'll do whatever I need to do. But I'm not gonna. That is critical, and that's a very, very important component for people coming up in this business. Is don't shy away from the accountability. Just make sure you get the authority that goes with it. Make sure you have that authority. Make sure you're given the power to do what you need to do. If you need to have a budget, make sure you got that budget, because you're going to be accountable for being over. So you better have the authority to manage it. And that's been really, really great advice.
Wow. I have to. I'd be remiss if I did not go over who you actually are and what you do for those of you that
don't know
who Jeff
What do I
is.
do?
So you're the General Counsel and Executive Vice President of Business and Legal Affairs at Universal Music Group, and you head all of the company's business transactions, contracts, litigation, government relations, trade and anti-piracy activities. You also co-head UMG's Task Force for Meaningful Change, member of UMG's Executive Management Board, among a list of other things. The reason why I wanted to bring that up is because in this business, what I've learned, and it's something that I still really try to work hard at, is multitasking and just really learning how to juggle the many things that happen at once and knowing how to pivot when need be. How have you been able to adapt, or what? I guess how have you been able to just pivot and adapt and kind of know when to do what you need to do to actually get the job done?
Experience helps.
Yeah.
And learning from experiences, because you do, it's like when you're a kid, if you jump off of a ledge and you hurt yourself, you're not going to do that again, right? Next time you get yourself down. So it's a little bit of that, and it's also my thing, and I don't recommend this to everybody, but my thing is work. You got to put the work in. I've had in my career, I've been blessed and fortunate to have kind of skills that I've got business skills and I've got other skills, and I've had an opportunity, for example, from 2020, 2021, we needed someone. Our chairman asked me to step in and be the interim chairman at Def Jam while we figured that out. And of course, it was a pandemic, so it took 2 years to figure out. But nonetheless, I was the general counsel of Universal Music Group worldwide, but I was also running Def Jam, which was probably where I felt the most stretched, because it was right brain, left brain. You're going from meeting with some artists yelling at you, right, and then you turn around and you're having to deal with some issue related to the legal affairs of the company. So. But the keys, I think, are really, in some respects, you got to outwork people. You got to be prepared. Always be prepared. You can never underestimate preparation. Yeah. Preparation's the key. And the one thing I always try and keep in my back of my mind is, I am blessed to work in the music industry. So I should make sure I'm having fun. Yeah. So if you're not having fun, then you shouldn't be in this business.
That's good. That's good. I don't know if Phil told you this, but I am currently in the process of studying for the LSAT now. So
no.
Yes.
Oh my God, brother.
So law school is definitely on my list.
Fantastic.
Of things to do. What would be your advice to someone like myself who hasn't gone the traditional route of going to law school, but it's something that I've wanted to do the last 15 years or so, and it's finally time for me to kind of get it underway. What would be some advice you would pass my way? Yeah,
the thing that I learned in law school, and I took a little time off between college and law school. I took a year off, so I kind of had worked in a working environment and then came to law school. Yeah, and I also was paying for law school. So my attitude was, I'm going to every class. Go to every class. It's the easiest thing you can do. You're going to sit in a room for an hour? That's great. I mean, you think about your life now and how busy you are. Yeah. Suddenly you could be in school and it's like, well, I got a class from 9 to 10. I got another one from like 1 to 3. Because you'll take it all in. And that was, for me, really, really important. And have fun with it. Take courses you want to take, not just what's required. Got it. That's. I thank you for that. And by the way, if you never practice a day in your life, that's fine. The education, you'll think differently coming out of it. Wow. I want to talk to you in 3 years, because your mind will be different in a good way. In a good way.
Well, thank you for that. So you graduated from UC Berkeley School of Law. How do you think the rigors of going to law school prepared you for the music industry and what you're actually doing now? Like, how did that strengthen your muscle?
Yeah, I mean, it goes back to the discipline of thinking, the reasoning that I learned in law school, and I think that helps me, because the music business is you're confronting all sorts of problems all the time, and you're dealing with all different types of people all the time. So you have personalities and problems, and for me, I feel that I always have the discipline of being able to, okay, sit back, hold on, what is the issue here? Think of, identifying the issue, and then saying, once I understand what the issue is, then I can attack the problem. And for me, that came from law school. I don't know whether that's endemic to law school, but for me, that came from the experience of going to law school. So that I don't think that there's any problem that I can't figure out. And I don't think that there's, frankly, in a record company, I don't think there's any job I couldn't do. Wow. Maybe I'm wrong, but if my boss were here, Lucian, sorry if you feel differently.
They're wrapping us up. I wanted to get a fun question in here. So out of all the 30 years that you've been in this business, what has been, I guess, your most memorable moment with an artist, or maybe your favorite project? I know you worked with the Uptown, the illustrious Uptown, the Mary J. Bliges of the world, and the Jodeci's and that kind of thing. What would you say is one of your most memorable moments being in this business?
I mean, there's so many, and I don't want, it's hard to single one out as being more memorable than another, but I will tell you a story that happened 2 days ago. Monday, I hosted a lunch at our offices for all 6 members of New Edition.
Wow.
Mike Bivens called me up and said, Jeff, you know, yo, Jeff, listen, yo, B, we want to come in our record company and we want to have lunch. And I'm like, okay, they don't record for us anymore.
Yeah.
But all of their records are there, even their solo projects,
yeah.
you know, even Johnny, because the Motown stuff. So I said, I would love that. So I hosted all 6 members of New Edition, and we just chopped it up.
Bobby
it
too?
was just Bobby too.
Man.
Bobby too. And it was fantastic. And it was just a bunch of guys sitting in a room talking. We were talking smack, joking on each other, talking about, you know, all sorts of things, life, kids, golf, everything. And it's like, you know, and you know, they said, wow, thank you for this. We really feel like this is our home. I said, it is your home. It's absolutely your home. And that's, for me, that's what it's all about.
Wow. I feel like I've learned so much from you in this last 15, 20 minutes sitting here. Yeah, I want to thank you for your willingness to sit down with me and have this conversation.
My pleasure.
This has been fun. And we sound crazy. Tamone Bacon from Macon. That's a wrap.
Peace.
Jeff Harleston, one of the great titans of this business, who's done the work and gives great gems on how to navigate through this industry. So grateful for him. Thank you, Mr. Harleston. This next convo was probably the highlight of my day in DC. This young lady was one of RIAA's honorees this year, and I immediately went back to being a kid and hearing my aunt play records like Cha 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 and Self-Destruction at my grandmother's house. I'm referring to none other than the iconic, the prolific MC Lyte. Please check this out, y'all, on We Sound Crazy. Welcome back to We Sound Crazy. It's me, Tamone Bacon from Macon again, and it just, the fun just keeps on rolling, y'all. I have the amazing, the legendary, the iconic MC Lyte.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm well, thank you.
Oh, it's such an honor to even be in your presence.
Thank you.
When I think of MC Lyte, I think back to when my Aunt Stacy, shout out to my Aunt Stacy, she played Light as a Rock and Self-Destruction and just all of those records back in the late 80s, early 90s. And I still have her record of Self-Destruction. I'm so mad that I forgot it. Left it home. But we're here in the RIAA offices. You're being honored tonight as a pioneer of hip hop. I've been asking everyone today, like, what's going through your psyche, your brain right now as we, you know, we've come a long way with hip hop, and you know, hip hop we're coming up on 50 years next year. And hip hop is the #1 genre, $1 billion industry. Like, what are your thoughts on everything that's just happened with the culture of hip hop?
What has happened with the culture of hip hop? I don't think it was anything that I expected. I thought I'd stop rapping back in '97. I think, you know, when I first started, I was like, oh, I'm gonna do this for 10 years and it'll be done. I never thought that it would take me to every continent. I never thought I'd perform for the president inside the White House. I never thought. So the culture of hip hop is just so much more than any of us expected. At least there could be someone out there like a KRS-One who says, I saw it all, but I didn't. And I just think where it's gone is it's given amazing opportunities to young people of color to put their families to work. It's given so many of us the platform to be able to do other things that we've only dreamt of doing, but now we sort of have an entryway into doing things that may not have been possible without the foundation of hip-hop.
Wow. Do you remember that moment where the light bulb went off, where you saw whomever you were influenced by and you said, you know what, I want to do that? That's
I mean, I always remember that exact moment, and it was in Hamill's Projects in Far Rockaway, Queens, when I heard Salt-N-Peppa. And their song Showstopper was playing on a big boombox.
Yo, what's up? Have you ever been to jams where people just stand? They pay to come in and they don't even dance. They're so uncool. They think they're cute.
And as soon as I heard it, I was like, I've got to do this somehow. I think prior to that, I thought that I would rap. But once I heard them, it really made me believe I could.
Crazy! Speaking of Salt-N-Peppa and women in hip-hop, I mean, back when you started, there were very few women in hip-hop, and now we've grown to having so many different colors and so many different women that you can choose from. Whoever you want to listen to, there's a different style and a different flavor for everybody. What are your thoughts on just where we are today, specifically with women in hip-hop? What are your...
I'm pretty much agree with what you just said. There's so many, and, you know, there are so many different flavors and styles and dialects and what it is that the content. So if I just read an article, and I forgot what outlet it was, but it was an article on the 22 women in Houston alone that are MCs. It gave their links to their videos. It gave links to their lyrics, their resumes, bios. And they're not just rinky-dink, I'm just rapping for fun. These are women who have taken it really seriously. And that's 22 in Houston alone.
Wow.
So there are female MCs almost on every spectrum, whether they're rapping about their communities.
You call yourself a goon, then approach a goddess. You ain't even got the slightest chance. I'm just being honest. I'm a walking monsoon.
Like Mama Soul, whether they're freestyling and putting them to shame like Tierra Whack.
I did it all with a passion. I'm a guard in this fashion. Niggas trying to fit in with their arms in my jacket. Had to pull myself together like it's all elastic. Got the heart of a dragon. I'm a star, call me Patrick. Heard the bitch was talking shit, so I caught him in traffic. I'm the type to walk in your house and shit on your mattress. Slow down.
You know, one's from Flint, one's from Philly. You got Lady London, who's New York, LA, and DC.
I'm on the come up. We on the come up. This is the come up. Hey. I'm on the come up, this is the come up, we on the come up, hey. I'm on the come up, this is the come up, we on the come up.
You've got, of course, what I call the main stage performers, which they need not even be mentioned because they're so famous at this point. But then there's those, if you like them. There's Rhapsody, who likes to give it to you raw, uncut, who... You know, somebody who we respect like a Ninth Wonder or a DJ Premier who is strictly hip-hop, they want her on their tracks. You know, so there's so many different styles and so many flavors. And I'm just thankful that we've gotten to this moment because for a minute, like, it was all Nicki. Nicki. And, you know, I happen to be a fan of Nicki's business sense and also her strategy and her way of handling business. However, I'm fans of Cardi. You know, I'm a fan of Cardi. I'm a fan of Remy. I'm a true fan of the art form. And I think any woman who's courageous enough to take a microphone and say anything deserves to be heard, and also deserves a platform to say it on.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you have so much to do with that, and we thank you for just everything that you've given us over the years.
We sound crazy.
You've been able to parlay what you've done and musically into other avenues and still kind of waving the flag for hip-hop along the way. You're an actress. You do voiceover work. I mean, an award show is not an award show if I don't hear MC Lyte speaking over it at this point.
Very kind.
I mean, you were even the Primetime Emmys this week. I mean, just you've been able. I mean, working with Dr. Lynn Richardson and the financial wellness. I personally watch those conversations, and so just talk about how you've been able to just go from. You still do music, but you've gone from making albums into kind of branching out into other pockets and doing other work.
Certainly. And I think that goes back to what I commented on in the very beginning is we as hip-hop artists have been able to use this platform with our notoriety and with fans who admire us, who are now in positions to actually open the door for us in other areas. That's one part of it. But then also being skilled enough in another area that if we say we want to act, it kind of gives us a doorway to be able to do that. Doesn't mean that we can just get there. We have to be, learned in that area. Which is of great importance because who wants an opportunity and then you get there and you can't deliver? And so for me, it was about all the other things that I wanted to do. So I prepared myself for voiceover, for acting classes, and now being an executive producer, creator, writer, and actress of my TV show, it's all of those moments that I had wanted, but I had to gear up and work towards them. But yet, hip-hop made it possible because even that show is somewhat drawn from life experiences. And had I not had them, there wouldn't be that show. So I also have to thank the team, because you got to have a team that sort of sees your vision and reminds you of the vision. Because as an artist, you want to do everything. But you can't do everything all the time or every time you want to do it. There's got to be a strategy and a plan to it. And so that's where the team comes into play. So I'm lucky to be lucky and blessed, if there's such a thing, to be able to do all of those things.
We're blessed to still have you doing your thing. And I wish we had more time, but we got to go
There's
get you.
always a part two.
Well, I appreciate you and thank you for sitting down with us.
Thank you.
We Sound Crazy. Tamone Bacon for making MC Lyte. And that's a wrap.
God bless. Thank you.
So regal, so beautiful, so iconic. The amazing MC Lyte. A combo that I'll never forget for the rest of my life. And lastly, this next icon is the reason we can even discuss this culture we call hip-hop. As a vinyl collector, I appreciate this man because he's the reason behind the slip mat, an invention that revolutionized the record playing experience. He's also behind one of the great songs of hip-hop, The Message, as leader of the Furious Five. I'm talking about none other than the iconic Grandmaster Flash. Check us out right here on We Sound Crazy.
We sound crazy.
Don't push me, cause I'm close to the edge. I'm trying not to lose my head.
Welcome back to We Sound Crazy. Yet another legend. He's really the reason why we're here. He's none other than Mr. Grandmaster Flash. How are you, sir?
I'm okay, man. I'm blessed every time I get a chance to sit down and chop it up with younger people that kind of acknowledge and know the tiny things that I've done. It's wonderful. It's wonderful.
We're here in D.C. at the RIAA offices. I've been asking everybody all day, just you've been here since the inception of hip-hop. You've seen it in its infancy.
I helped build it.
Yep. I mean, next year is 50 years. What is going through your mind right now? Like, what do you think back? Like, what moment do you go back to when you think we came from here to now?
Mom and Dad's house. Mm-hmm. Mom was a seamstress. Dad was a railroad worker, right? But his hobby was collecting vinyl. And I remember when I was a toddler, the rules of the house was do not go into the living room where the brown box was, and don't go into this closet here. If you're caught in there, Dad comes home from work, you get murdered. And me, I was like very intrigued, like, why can't we go to the brown box? And why can't I go in that closet? So what I would do is when my dad came home, I would watch him. Mom would set up his meal, and he would go into the living room and get his spirits, his drink.
Yeah.
And he would go into this closet, and he would open this closet door, and there was these square things that had like artwork, a dog, a picture of a person, a train, a flower, and he would pull something out of it, and it was this black circle. And he would take this black circle over to this brown box. And he'd take I kind of would watch him because I would be allowed in the living room if an adult was with me, so I was able to watch him. And he would take the black circle and put it down in the brown box, and he would hit this button, and the arm would come up, and then the arm would come down, and sound would come out of this brown box. As a kid, I was fucked up. I'm like, he just pulled off magic. So what I did is I watched him do this for like 2 or 3 weeks, and then when I heard the door slam early in the morning, I went and got me a chair from the kitchen, went to that closet, turned the knob, took a square thing out, pulled the black thing out, went over to the brown box, because I seen the procedure over and over and over again, put it on. Dad was at work. Whoever was in the house was like, "Little Joe, you can't. Like, Dad is going to kill you if he knows that you was doing this." And he would come back home. So what I did was I just would put it back in the paper, and I would put it back in the closet. But my dad had everything in numerical order. So as soon as he would open up the closet, it's like, who was in here? He'd make all the children come out. And by the time he got to me, I was like this, got my ass kicked. And this happened over and over and over. After a while, he just could not stop me. But the wonderful thing about my parents, and then both of them is gone, is in the reverse sort of way, he taught me about how important vinyl was, because he kept kicking my ass. And my mother taught me the importance of a needle. So when my mother wasn't looking, or she wasn't making clothing, I would steal one of her needles, turn on the stereo, put a black disc on, because I was wondering where the music was coming from. And I put the needle on it while it was spinning. And once I felt the vibration there, that was it. It was like, okay, Dad, you're going to have to kill me because I'm going to keep doing this, because for some reason, the music lives in the black tunnels. So as I got older and older and older, my mother said, listen, you can't keep doing this. So she sent me to a technical high school, and that's when I learned about, AC versus DC, the resistor color code, capacitance, transformers, push-pull circuits, solid state versus vacuum tube. So all these things, it started to all come to me like, okay, so this is what happens when you switch it on. All these things happen in the background. So for me, when I got old enough, we lived poor. I would go in backyards and get stereos that were thrown out, get the platter from this and the arm from this, and my speakers were my mid-range speakers. I would unscrew them from the back of the abandoned cars and put them in like boxes, and
resourceful.
So it was just like I kind of was unstoppable then, and then I started to understand the rules and the laws of how vinyl works and how I could take the drum beat that's 10 seconds. If I use duplicate copies of records, I had to just figure out, this is not sonics, this is math. So let's just say if I would have used Good Times is on Atlantic Records, I would watch how many times the A would pass the tone arm before it would go to the whack part. And I go, okay, so I have to figure out a way to counterclockwise spin it back and count so that I could re-arrive at the top of the break. But the problem was that ugly rubber that comes to the table. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
So my mother was a seamstress. So I knew what material felt like. I knew what denim felt like. I knew what polyester. I knew what silk. I knew them all. So when I took an album and I went to the material store and I says, I'm going to find something that really fits. And I felt, and I remember in grade school, we used to cut letters out. But the problem with felt, it is very limp. So what I did is I bought enough for 2 albums, cut it out, and I went home, and when my mother wasn't looking, I spray starched them. I hit them with spray starch, and I put the iron on super hot. So now the limp felt now was like a wafer. That's what I used to call them. Because during Easter, when you go down the line, they give you that white thing. It was called a wafer. So I used to call it a wafer.
Wow.
So all these things, and this is, I could go on and on and
I
on.
mean,
and never in my lifetime did I realize that I could isolate an area of the record and just keep repeating it. And that became the music bed for a human being to tell their stories on an unobstructed piece of music. Today they call it rap. So I'm pretty blessed to have done these things with nothing.
Crazy.
We wanna rock you.
It's so funny you talk about your dad because I almost got plenty of times as a kid in the late 80s, early 90s when records was still a thing. And they've come back. I'm a huge vinyl collector now, but I got my butt beat a few times because I would see y'all on TV doing this. And he's like, you're screwing up my record because you don't know what you're doing. So yeah, it's crazy that
So it's coming. So you asked me the question. How do I feel today? It's when you're an inventor of something, it could be music, machinery, medicine. Sometimes you could put something out there to the public, and they just say, "Fuck that shit. I don't like that." With me, it was like, "How's he doing that?" Like they was pulling the table up, and my mom has the same record, and the drum beat don't go that long, so they started pushing behind the ropes and trying to figure out in the park, like, how is he doing that? And I remember after 3 years of doing my studies, I went home and I was crying. I was like, I played the best James Brown break, and the best Sly and the Family Stone break, and the best Queen break, and the best break, and I connected them one behind another. The park should be going nuts. But it was as quiet as his room. I'm like, okay, something's wrong with the computation. Something's wrong. So I went back to my studies to figure it out. And eventually I figured it out. So now people sample. But I was sampling when there was no sampling.
Yeah. Genius. Just genius. Before we end this conversation, and I don't want to end the conversation, but you got to go get your award. What are your thoughts on just how far we've come in the hip-hop culture? Like,
it's absolutely wonderful.
Yeah.
It's big business now.
Yeah, big business.
It's big business, and never in my wildest dreams, never in my wildest dreams did I think that I could get on a plane and go almost to every country in the world, except for the ones that are mad at us, and I've been to them 50 times. Like years before COVID showed up, I was traveling to 150 countries a year for the past 19 years. I seen every country, Poland, Australia, Japan, England, Belgium, Holland. I seen it all. And to be able to do something that you love and make a living at it, oh my goodness, God is good.
He is good. And we thank you for just getting us here. You are the reason.
Thank you.
And I really ain't got much to say. I mean, thank you so much, sir.
Thank
for
you.
Sitting down and talking with me.
Hopefully I wasn't too long-winded, man. But
No,
I'm a geek.
We need more time.
We
need more time, but I know we got things to do. But Grandmaster Flash.
Thank you.
For the We Sound Crazy podcast, I'm Tamone Bacon from Macon, and that's a wrap.
There it is. Ow. Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Goodness.
Such an honor.
It's very, very rare I could tell that story to people.
We sound crazy.
Grandmaster Flash. The reason that we are even having these conversations about hip-hop. It was such an honor to talk to him. I wish I had more time to sit with him, as he's such a wealth of information and just so willing to educate all of us young folk on the history and the origins of hip-hop. And that's a wrap, folks. It was such an honor speaking with so many icons of hip-hop and getting knee-deep in the origins of what's now the main force in music. I want to say thank you to the amazing staff at the Recording Industry Association of America, RIAA, in D.C., the National Museum of African American Music here in Nashville, and Visit Music City for your support. And last but not least, you, the listener. I'm going to throw it back to my brothers Phil, Chuck, and Claude in Nashville. Peace.
Yo, shout out to our brother Tamone holding it down out there in Washington, D.C.
Holding it down.
Holding it down.
You represent us well. You do well.
Yo, so guys, in honor of the hip-hop pioneers, we should do a fun edition of Keep or Kill. Hip Hop Pioneers edition.
Okay. Okay, I'm down.
That sounds fun.
Let's shake the table.
Shaking the table.
You know, I'll kick it off just to, you know, throw it out there on the floor.
Okay.
Wu-Tang Clan or A Tribe Called Quest?
Ooh. That is hard.
Ooh. I'm going to have to go with Tribe.
Wow.
I'm going to have to go with Tribe.
Oh, this is hard. I'm have to go with Wu-Tang.
I'm with Wu-Tang too.
Yeah.
Wu-Tang is more,
Wu-Tang.
that was my
New York.
Yeah.
New York.
Shallin' now.
I got one.
Okay.
Public Enemy or Run DMC?
Oh.
Oh.
First thing for me is going to be PE. I love Run DMC and celebrate their contribution to our culture and music, but yeah, for me it's Public Enemy. Shout out to Chuck D.
Probably Public Enemy too.
I have to go with Public Enemy as well. Shout out to Chuck.
Shout out to the Chucks of the world.
Chuck.
Oh God! All right. This is gonna be a weird one, but hopefully it makes sense to you.
Okay.
LL Cool J or Busta Rhymes?
Oh man, come on. Wait, this is...
I'm going to have to go Busta.
But really think about this now.
I'm thinking.
I'm going LL. LL, trailblazer, had a presence in pretty much multiple decades in music. Amazing television host. I'll put all the other acting, TV host stuff aside, but music, hip-hop, is for me, it's LL Cool J, from the whole My Radio to I Need Love, Around the Way Girl, and Mama Said Knock You Out. Come on, man.
Can I just say that, like, Around the Way Girl might be one of my top 5 hip-hop records of all time. Of all time.
It's a great song.
It just, like, it takes me to a place in my childhood. Every time it comes on to this day, it has the same feeling. That's one of the best songs of all time.
Busta he's just...
prolific.
He's incredible. Busta's incredible.
Man. Like, his songs is just crazy. He's what Missy is in my head. That's what Busta is on the male side to me.
So you choose Busta.
I got to go with Busta.
You chose LL.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to choose LL as well.
L Busta.
L Busta. L Busta.
Yeah, no, I know being my honored Busta. I'm not, I love Busta. Great catalog, visuals, you can't deny. But my vote's with LL for that one. All right, I'm throwing out another one for you, the ladies.
Okay.
All right.
Lil' Kim or Foxy Brown?
Kim. You said at the same time? That was easy.
That was easy?
That was unison, a Kim. Kim is, if I'm being honest, Kim is, I can't say the all-time, but Kim is goated for me.
Yeah.
She's goated. Like, it's Kim and Missy.
She got a lot of children out here.
Yeah, she got a lot of children, but Kim is goated. That's the original thing.
Yeah. Lil Wayne or Tupac Shakur?
Really?
That's not a bad. That's good. That's good.
Wow.
That's good. I like it. I like it.
It's controversial. You know
I like it.
Tupac or Lil Wayne?
Pac or Wayne? See, people don't do that. People don't do that very often.
That's very interesting. And Tupac is absolutely one of my favorite. He's one of the most prolific writers, artists.
Yeah.
He's in my top 5, but so is Wayne.
Yeah, mine too.
So this is Fillionaire. You can at me if you have anything to say. But my vote is going to be with Lil Wayne.
My vote as well is going to be with Lil Tunechi, Lil Wayne.
I'm going to go
Weezy
with Lil
F.
Tunechi.
Weezy F.
Tunechi.
Weezy F baby.
Weezy F baby.
Please say the baby.
That's controversial.
No, it's real. We don't sound crazy on that.
We don't sound crazy.
But the reality, I mean, Wayne has a special limited exhibit at the National Museum of African American Music. So Wayne, in commemoration of his 40th birthday, has a lot of cool artifacts. If you haven't seen it, it's super dope. Like, it's flies.
That's
cool
crazy.
Things, yeah.
The fact that Wayne is 40, and I just remember the little kid in the Cash Money video. You know what I'm saying? Was it Drop It Like It's Hot, where he just came in at the end of the song?
That was Back That Thing
Back that thing up, yeah.
Now, after
he was a kid.
He was a kid.
Yeah.
He was a child, a mere babe.
He came up with bling bling.
But it's part of American culture.
It's crazy.
And he's also the reason that we have Drake and Nicki.
Hello.
Yeah.
Young Money. Shout out to Mac Main and Karen Civil. Let's go.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
All right, I got you got one, Claude. It's your turn.
No,
It's your turn.
go. Please go.
All right, Rakim or Big Daddy Kane?
For me, Big Daddy Kane.
Big Daddy Kane.
It's a tough one for me. I love to go Big Daddy Rakim, but you know,
Big Daddy Ra.
Big Daddy Ra. But I'd be partial to Big Daddy Kane as well. But I love Rakim. Actually, absolutely one of my favorite lyricists.
Yeah.
I have one for y'all. Again, the ladies edition, and it might not be fair because it's a group against a solo, but Queen Latifah or Salt-N-Peppa?
Salt-N-Peppa.
Give it to him, Queen. I got it. Latifah.
I would have to go with Salt-N-Peppa too.
I think I would also have to go with Salt-N-Peppa and Spinderella.
And Spinderella.
And Spin.
We have
and
to acknowledge Spin.
We will acknowledge Spin. You got one more, Phil? I feel you got one more in your spirit.
I always do.
Hit me.
Jay-Z or Biggie?
Oh. Oh.
You might as well just gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? That's equivalent to Wayne and Tupac.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. It's not easy.
It's another Mr. Carter.
Listen. As a New Yorker, my soul feels torn.
Be careful, Claude. Be careful over there.
New
York, are you listening, New York, to your very own?
Yeah.
What is he about to say?
To your prodigal son.
Yeah.
Your wayward child.
All right. What I'm going to have to say. And this is not even. It's not an intellectual answer. It's an instinct answer. Biggie.
That's Claude Kelly. Chuck, who you got? Chuck Harmony.
I'm gonna have to go with Jay. I gotta go with Jay.
There's no wrong answer here.
There's really no wrong answer.
No, I'm just saying, like, even when they were playing some of his records in the Murder Inc. thing, it's just like, yo, his music just takes me right back to a real place in my life.
Yeah.
And Biggie does too, but it's more of a connection. You know what I'm saying? With Jay, I got with Jay, so I had to go Jay.
What do you say, Fillionaire?
Biggie Z.
Biggie Z.
No, I'm going with the Notorious B.I.G. Jay's one of my absolute favorites. In my top list as well, but Biggie, it's just it's a feeling. It's a feeling, just the music. Even though we don't have a ton of work, from B.I.G. That's the unfortunate.
That's what's so crazy about it is that in a small amount that we have, there's just a feeling to his delivery that has not been matched. I don't know what that was going on. And also now to realize truly how young he was when he died. So that's so prolific for a young man to be that. That's very prolific, his albums. Man, but Jay-Z, woo.
And he's still doing it.
Still doing it. That's a good one.
I was watching, because I don't really watch the news anymore, but I was watching MSNBC just to see what was going on. And one of the hosts was like breaking down Jay-Z's whole, they did a whole segment on his verse for God Did, the DJ Khaled thing.
Wow.
Like they did he like broke it down. He compared it to Farrakhan when he did the interview with Mike Wallace. And it was just interesting because when they first started, when they first said that that's what they were about to do, I was like, what is this?
What are they talking about?
Mess that's about to take place. But when they start breaking down what he was saying, it's crazy. Like he got something on his mind.
He's prolific.
Prolific, man. Like all of those guys that we feel like is prolific now, like the Kendricks and the J. Cole's.
Inspired by Jay.
They his sons.
For sure.
For real.
For sure. Surprised you didn't say one from VA, Phil.
We're always present.
Even we're not in the room, we're in the room.
Yeah, we're in the room.
I just want to note that New York was heavily represented in all these battles because
nobody said
y'all ain't got no love for the West Coast. Y'all ain't got no love for Death Row.
One person said Nelly, and I'm quite upset.
Who would you put Nelly up against in a keep or kill?
Chingy.
No, that was his artist. Wasn't
Yeah.
it? No, that was Ludacris
artist.
Who'd you put Nelly up against in a keep or kill? Like, because Nelly's actually pretty legendary.
He's legendary.
Yeah.
I'd probably say Ludacris.
Ludacris?
Or Ja Rule, I would say too.
Or Ja Rule. Chuck is looking at you like, I don't know about that one.
Yo, I just got the death stare.
Yeah,
You saw that?
literally.
He was really offended. Now, Luda's a good one. Luda's also so...
Because what people don't understand about Nelly, like, he was really commercially successful. Like, that, he was selling diamond records. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Like,
Yeah.
he's
doing arena tours now.
He was not no couple million. Like, he was doing 10, 12 on
Units.
multiple albums. You know what I'm
Units.
saying? So you got to put him up there with one of the greats when you're going to put him against somebody.
I'm just trying to think of someone who's like a true challenge. You know what I'm saying? Because Nelly is actually quite big.
He's one of a kind. He's one of one.
So the conclusion here is that St. Louis wins because they're one of one.
One of one.
There's no one to compare him to.
Who you putting Chingy against? I mean,
Not,
I'm not going to acknowledge Chingy. Put some respect on Chingy's name.
yeah, not calling now Ching, nigga. I'm good on Chingy. I'm good on Chingy.
Right there.
Were you doing the chicken head back then, Chuck?
I like that right there.
I got my one, my little dance. I do my two-step that I do. That's it. I've been
Oh
doing
my
it.
God.
No chicken head.
No chicken head. I'm not dancing fast.
I'm dancing fast. I'm not doing it.
We sound crazy.
The Esther Roll
Award.
The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not.
Looking at my rollie, it's about that time. For the Esther Roll Black Excellence Award. I don't know. I feel like there's got to be some. I say let's keep it hip hop theme. Maybe I don't want to limit y'all, but I feel there's definitely some people that are.
No, we going hip hop. I
We
mean,
going
that's what we talking about all episode. We going hip
All
hop.
right, so cool. So I feel like there's got to be some people that are not getting their flowers in hip hop that we can nominate. Let's make this a good fight, shall we, my friends?
Mm-hmm.
A good clean fight.
A good, clean,
wholesome scrapadoo. So y'all know the rules. Nominate someone. We gonna vote. It's gonna be hard with 3 people. We're gonna see if we can we can come to some kind of agreement
It's
here.
gonna be fun.
Did Soulja Boy ever get a award in the past? He didn't.
Irby?
Yeah.
I can confirm that he has never gotten an Irby. There's a lot of things I don't know, but what I do know is that he did not get an Irby.
Oh, let me think of somebody else.
Woo! I'll kick it off. I want to nominate a legend who actually we heard from earlier in this episode. Hip hop icon. She's doing voiceover work now. Actress extraordinaire. We're in the same movie together, by the way, coming out in December.
Oh, you better plug.
Yeah.
Just that movie star.
Yeah, Hip Hop Family Christmas Wedding on Paramount Plus and VH1. But the one and only MC Lyte.
Nice.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
That's a good one. I'm also going to nominate someone we mentioned in our Keep or Kill. I'm going to nominate Ludacris.
Wow.
Luda.
That's a great one.
Because he's like prolific, colorful, lots of hit records.
Lots of hits.
But I don't think they mentioned him in the best rapper category or Mount Rushmore, all that shit they talking about. I don't think they ever mentioned him.
He's a real, true artist.
Yeah, man. Videos too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Luda's my nomination.
We did. What did we do with Luda?
We did a song called Vitamin D.
Vitamin D.
Vitamin D with Luda. Yeah. Shout out to Catherine Bruton. She actually made that happen.
Wow, Catherine made the connection?
Catherine made the connection. We went to Luda's crib.
It was a single.
It was a single, yeah. A couple years ago.
Yeah, Vitamin D.
People don't be knowing. We be doing all kind of stuff.
We do rap too.
We do lots of stuff, you know what I'm saying? And I'll also tell you, he was really cool to work with.
And his house is awesome.
stupid dope house. I'm talking about crazy dope, super dope house. And then he has his own studio there, so we recorded there.
Yep.
He's a cool dude.
I lost my hard drive in the studio, and I was too embarrassed to ask him.
Wait, we done left.
Because he would have had to like almost tear down his studio because it went under the board and stuff.
I forgot all about that.
And so I was just like,
It was that thing where like, you already overstayed your welcome. we already said our goodbyes. Like, man, we talk again soon.
And it went right under that. I was like,
we had to drive back to his crib and come through the gate to get it. And then we got in the studio and it was like under. Jeez. We're like, you know what? Never mind.
Never mind. Jesus.
Never mind.
Chuck, who's your nomination this week?
I'm gonna nominate. I was listening to the song. You remember we said we should make it a gospel song. Now that we found love.
Yes.
That's one of my favorite rap songs. So I'm gonna nominate its creator, Heavy D.
Heavy D. This is hard.
Oh, this is tough. So we got MC Lyte, Ludacris, and Heavy D.
Jesus.
Jeez.
All right. Sheesh. All righty.
Let's take a vote. All in favor of MC Lyte, say aye.
Aye. She got 3. All right, so she's the one to beat.
All in favor of Ludacris, say aye.
Aye.
Damn it.
That's 3 again.
All in favor of Heavy D, no boys, say aye.
No boys? Oh, it was Heavy D and the boys back in the day. Yeah, you're right. Gee, shout out to the boys. Man.
Oh, God.
Pause.
Yo, you're crazy, yo. Oh, man.
All in favor of Heavy D, say aye. Aye. Y'all.
I love Heavy D. I
do love
he's
Heavy
incredible.
D.
I think it'd be a great biopic to make as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, so now Chuck's like, I don't want to play no more.
So it's between Ludacris and MC Lyte.
All right, y'all. So we can only vote for one this go round between MC Lyte and Ludacris.
Yeah, it's hard.
And you guys just say aye.
All right. We're
All
do
right.
this.
All in favor of MC Lyte? Aye.
Aye. That was easy.
Well, that was easy.
Yeah.
It's unanimous.
Okay, cool.
Congratulations, MC Lyte, this week's winner of the Esther Roll Black Excellence Award. Congratulations not only on this award, but also your recent award from the RIAA as a hip-hop pioneer. We salute you, Lyte.
Play Roughneck.
I need a roughneck. I need a dude with an attitude. Only need his fingers with his food. Caulking not sagging. Timbo's dragging. Frontin' in his ride with his homeboys bragging. Crazy.
Shout out to Tamone, who wasn't here, but really, really killed it with the interviews, the conversations. You know how we do. We sound crazy. You never know who's going to pop up. Yeah. So this is a pleasure and a good one. And shout out to my co-host Chuck Harmony and Fillionaire.
Yeah, man.
It's 3 of us, but we had a good time, right?
We had a great time. Great. And shout out to our producer, Mike Guru Johnson. Woo! And shout out to our partners at NAMAM, the National Museum of African American Music, right here in Nashville, Tennessee.
NAMAM.
Yeah,
man. So what we going out on, fellas?
I want to go out on something that I think will be near and dear to both of you.
Hit us.
What's that?
We talked about Ludacris earlier. Why don't we go out on Ludacris's Vitamin D featuring Ty Dolla $ign? Sound familiar?
I like it.
Man.
Created by the one and only
Louis York, you know what I'm saying? Claude Kelly, Chuck Harmony.
Yeah.
Make sure you follow us at We Sound Crazy everywhere. And you know what I'm saying? Turn this up. You might like it.
Until next time.
Peace.
Fix tonight.